Do you truly in your heart of hearts?
This holiday, grab some eggnog. Let's gather around the fireplace and celebrate the birth of our blessed Lord with the soothing sounds of a very special Darth Dawkins Christmas collection. 753 wonderful hits.
Here we go. Shut the fuck up. You're totally clueless, so stop with the shtick. Don't ever talk me, you're being rude. I'm old enough to be your fucking father, dude. Shut the fuck up.
All your favorites are here, in one spectacular collection.
You come into my room and mute me. Restore my mic, you fucking troll. Doobie's a fucking asshole I can't tolerate anymore. I've had to quit this server 4 fucking times before.
Digitally remastered and expertly rendered in high-quality audio. Never before has such a splendid compilation been put together.
So the problem with homosexuals is that God made male for females. The Bible is very clear. Don't be queer, don't be queer, don't be queer. Thank you. Bing, 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 bing.
Order with your credit card in the next 30 minutes, and if you manage to successfully render an argument for intelligibility within your godless worldview, you'll receive a beautifully decorated King James Bible, along with your own personally autographed copy of Dawkins' Presuppositionalist Guide, Crushing Atheism. Absolutely free. Merry Christmas, and a blessed New Year.
Boom! You're not server muted. Get out of my room.
Good morning, my beauties and bees. It is Saturday, November 25th. It is 9:42 a.m. and we are starting off the day with some live from the Hive. It is Saturday morning like we always do. Hope you all enjoyed that. That's going to be my holiday rotation for the next few weeks for Live from the Hive. Do some Darth Dawkins Christmas for your ear holes. I hope you all think that's hilarious as I do. Obviously, I'm going to start mixing in my other holiday ads and stuff too as we go through the next few weeks, and maybe some new ones too. Just keep your eye out for that. Let me say hi to all my beautiful beauties and bees out here. So we had some people popping in bright and early this morning to hang out with us. We got Captive Desk. Good morning, Dave. Al Trucker. Logan Fisher. We got John Hudson. And we have, let's see, I thought I saw Sumami and Deep was here. And yeah, so we got some people popping in. It's good to see you guys. A little slow roast this morning, but that's all right. It's a holiday weekend, so I'm feeling it, really. I've been staying up late and sleeping in, so getting up early this morning for today's show was a little bit of a challenge for me because I began sleeping until about 10:30 or so. But I'm here. I got coffee, and I'm here to entertain you for the next 3 hours. So that's what I'm all about, entertainment. The entertainment value of the Hive. Now, if you didn't notice, I did drop a sting earlier this week. And if you haven't watched it, it's super important that you do, because the hate preacher who threw my face up on a fucking Jumbotron and called for my execution is out there again putting out more awful videos about trans people and everybody else too, for that matter, and rock and roll music for some reason. So if you missed it, go watch that. It was a good time. Some people call him Cupcake. I don't call him that, but I just call him Matt Powell. But he's a little turd of an apologist who has he's like a 90-year-old man stuck in a 27-year-old's body. It's really weird. He's like, oh, all this rock and roll music and syncopated beats, that's the devil. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like mama said, but it's like Jesus. The Bible says, the Bible says, the Bible says this, the Bible says. He actually says that a lot. The Bible says, the Bible says. That's the one of his catchphrases. So if you didn't watch that, go ahead and watch that. Also, we're back on schedule with our Creation Watch series. As long as I don't have any more family gatherings that get me too imbibed in the moonshine that they're passing around. Woo, that was insane. Like, oh, here, have a shot of this apple pie moonshine. Oh, yum, that's good. Oh, do you want another one? Sure, that was delicious. It's apple pie moonshine. You're gonna freaking, you're not getting out of bed tomorrow. So that's what happened to me on that week. But that was my family's Thanksgiving weekend anyway. But so I canceled my Creation Watch with AJ. But we're gonna have AJ back this Sunday. So if you like Atheist Junior, or if you like Base Theory Grayson, if you like either one of those peeps, come tomorrow because we are visiting the ruins of Tartaria. Grayson's never been there. I don't think AJ has either. So this will be their first time venturing to Tartaria, where things are a little bit different than they are here on planet Earth. Tartaria is a specific aspect or facet of the flat Earth, and you will like it too. I promise. So pop in and check it out. That's tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Before Bad Science Sunday on Sunday. So that's going to be where we do Creation Watch. That's next week. And the week after that, the 3rd of December, I have Brentley's coming on. Brentley, Counter Apologetics channel. And I also have the one and only Tony Reed coming on, who I haven't seen too active in the community lately. So it's going to be nice to catch up with Tony and see what he's been up to. He's the guy who taught me to be a evolutionist or whatever. How creationism taught me to believe in evolution by investigating the claims made by evolutionists. He saw a whole video series on it. So I expect everybody to be all caught up by tomorrow on that. So if you have to binge it after this show until tomorrow morning, that's okay. I get it. But yeah, we got to be caught up and know who we're dealing with. But we're going to talk about some marvels of nature as will be the case. Not tomorrow. That's going to be the 3rd. Sorry. Yeah, this is all the way out in the 3rd. After that, things are kind of open-ended. I got a couple of people that are lined up to be guest appearances, and then I got some people lined up to be co-hosts too. So it's kind of two different animals, and we'll see how it goes. Now, on with the show today. So yeah, that's all the stuff I got going on in the neighborhood right now. But for today, we are going to be moving right into Cryptic Corner, and I got another one from the old stacks on the docket for you today. So I will see you guys over in Cryptic Corner. I'll never do that again. Don't worry. That was weird. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to CryptoCorner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I am your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today's adventure is going to take us once again into the world of the supernatural. So, if you don't have your crucifix, which I don't have, I have my crucifix. I lost my crucifix a long time ago. But I don't have any fear because I actually have direct connection to Jesus anytime I need. So if things go sour with the supernatural, like Jesus hit that reset button, it's time to start this game over again, and he'll take care of me. So I recommend getting some kind of supernatural forces. Maybe some rosary beads. These are just regular beads. I think my daughter gave me these last time I saw her, so that's why I'm wearing them, because they're cute and pretty, and they're from my daughter. But some form of supernatural connection to help you defeat the supernatural, because not everybody's a telekinesis master like I am, and if you doubt my telekinetic skills, I recommend you go watch my coverage of the telekinesis guru. While I didn't quite master the crotch thrust of the trash can that he was pulling off, I did manage to move the spoon and set the napkin on fire, and lots of cool stuff like that. So yeah, if you missed that, you could check that out too. I should probably drop the link in the side chat or something, or in the when I premiere this, drop this in the chat over there. In the premiere chat, I guess it would be, not the live chat. Anyway, if you do want to join the live chat though, and you're watching this on the premiere, all you have to do, the instructions are super simple, right? Super simple. All you have to do is get up at 9:30 a.m., right? And you have to go to youtube.com, and you select the drop down menu. Let's say that things are live, and it should have a little icon that says, because you've hit the bell down there, right? The bell, and you got to do the light up thing too on the bell so it notifies you. But anyway, and you hit that drop down menu, it should have me on there, right? I should be on there to watch me live, and you'll see like a little intro, and then I'll come in and do some Cryptic Corner with you in the side chat with these cool people over here. Everybody hanging out over here this morning. You can join them, and they will turn on your device. Turn on a device. You can do it on your phone too. You don't have to even get out of bed, really. Just turn it on. You could listen to it while you're like waking up in the morning. Turn it on your phone when you get up, and then go to your bathroom business and have it sitting there on the sink or whatever, playing while you're brushing your teeth and washing your face or whatever you do in the morning to get ready. Do that. Come join us Saturday morning. We love to see you live, and you'll get more interaction out of me. Ask these guys. They get to talk about the topic. Today we got a ghost on the menu, and they're going to talk to me about the ghost and be part of the show. And you can be too. Every Saturday, live from the Hive. Check it out. All right, that's enough promotion. How long did I spend promoting there? That was a little too long, maybe. But I mean, I don't want to downplay how much I enjoy seeing you all interacting in the side chat and giving me your input. Let's see. You didn't even really have to get up. Watch in bed. It's kinky, says Deep Arcs. Yes, we do not kink shame in the Hive. So if you're into watching live from the Hive in bed, maybe in bed with your partner, I'm here for it. That sounds awesome. I haven't been able to attain holy water. Each time I catch some, it fills in the holes and drains away. Yes, right. It's too many holes in that holy water. For sure. But you will not be able to, I don't think you'll be able to defeat this with holy water, because you'll have to defeat his unholy tears for today's culprit. I promise you that. It is going to be a spooky one, because if you all are not familiar with this, today we're going to explore the curse of the crying boy. So Again, as always, let me know how the audio is and everything. And here we go.
In folklore, it is common to find stories of pictures falling from walls for no reason. And if this picture happens to be a portrait, it is said that it is an omen of impending death. We may also have seen pictures where the eyes appear to follow us around the room.
Ooh, the Hands Resist. This is a good one. The Hands Resist is a haunted painting. It was sold on eBay. And on eBay, I guess the selling pitch was just have the emotional attached to it, but you can really see how this has an emotional detachment. You got the kid, the emotionless kid, his sad doll, and then hands in the darkness behind him. It's kind of creepy. The Hands Resist is the name of this painting. Look it up. We might cover it sometime, but not today.
Fiction of where some entity or spirit appears to dwell within a picture or portrait upon the wall of a haunted house. The Crying Boy is one such painting, having once upon a time struck fear into the hearts of many. Was this painting cursed, or was it simply the subject of an urban legend? This is the story of the Crying Boy.
Alright, here we go. Curse of the Crying Boy.
The painting seemed to appear out of the blue one morning in 1985. The Sun newspaper, a British tabloid, and one of
The Sun, of course, you know, high quality, high caliber reporting.
the most popular English-speaking papers, published in that year a headline, Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy. In it, a couple was said to have blamed a cheap painting of a boy with tears rolling down his face for a fire of which ruined their terraced home in Rotherham, South Yorkshire. The blaze is thought to have been a common type of fire, that of a chip pan fire in their kitchen. These type of fires spread rapidly and can cause untold destruction. However, they said that although their house was badly damaged, with most of their furniture destroyed.
So it was a grease fire, lady. Kitchen, take some kitchen precautions, right? And there's some steps to protect your kitchen. Okay.
The Crying Boy painting escaped undamaged. According to the article, it continued to hang in the room, surrounded by a scene of devastation, and yet completely untouched by the fire. To make matters even stranger, the brother of the man in question was a firefighter in the same town. He said that a colleague of his knew of numerous other cases where the
Depends on what kind of bass player you are, John. If you're a slap bass player, you're a lot more likely to get some tail than you are just playing root notes behind the guitar. If you're doing things that are fancy and almost like a drummer, yeah, that's hot. I love a bass player just yeah.
similar painting of a crying boy.
I have no idea why you guys are talking about bass players though. Bass is the best of both worlds between rhythm and guitar. Yeah, it depends on how you play it though, right? Hey Brian Stevens, good to see ya. So insurance scam disguises the haunting. Usually
had turned up undamaged in the ruins of house fires all around the country. On the article was a picture of a crying boy painting, and under it was a caption which read, "Tears for Fears, the portrait that a fireman claims is cursed." The fireman in question had actually not used the word cursed. However, tabloid papers, being what they are, helped to create the sensation that there was a fear of a curse within the firefighting community.
it's like an urban legend too. It was like in the UK at this time, because a lot of these pictures are found. We'll talk about that. But let's let them go. Let's let them go.
The same
let them
paper
cook,
also claimed.
Let them cook, as the kids say.
that there were over 50,000 crying boy prints, most of which signed by G. Bragolin, of which had been sold in all manner of department stores throughout the country. They also claimed that they were very common in working class areas of northern England, such as where the family had hailed from. Many homes around the UK would have had these pictures in their living rooms, perhaps even hung ominously above the fireplace. One story connected to the article suggested that over 250,000 crying boy paintings had been sold at the time of publication.
Yeah, well, Bragolin, which wasn't a real person, but anyway, Bragolin started the trend, but a lot of people imitated him because they'd sell so good to tourists. As Italian, Bragolin wasn't even Italian; he was Spanish. His name was Bruno Armadillo. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's 23 minutes of this video. I need to slow the hell down.
Public interest soon exploded around these pictures, and the very next day the Sun ran another story, this time reporting many hundreds of alleged cases of crying boy curses. Apparently, the paper had been inundated with calls and letters, all fearing that they had been cursed by similar paintings of crying boys with tears running down their faces. To make matters stranger, not all of the stories were connected with house fires, but rather paranormal events.
Crotch fires? What? Let's not have any of those. That sounds terrible. I get laid because I'm big and hairy and I drag the big iron. Is that Al Trucker? That's how you roll? This musical tangent came from Auto Carrot effing up my shaved scrotum joke. Ah, okay, gotcha. It's a tangent, or not tangent, rabbit hole of bass player jokes. I gotcha. That's fine. Maybe it's painted on asbestos. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Callers to the Sun said that their crying boy painting had induced a kind of overwhelming presence in their house, the feeling of eyes following them around the room, or of simply a sense of foreboding, or a feeling of evil coming across their property. As more stories began to surface, more people came forward with their own tales of the crying boy. One owner said that she had seen her painting swinging from side to side on the wall, and another said, oddly enough, that her young child had caught his private parts on a hook just after she had bought the picture, resulting in a horrific...
A clear relation there, and we get back to genitals, right? Yeah, when we buy a picture of a crying child, the obvious correlation is that any injuries that your children suffer from there forward is the result of that painting, right? That's the logical leap.
Injury. Yet another, of whom wrote a letter to be published in the newspaper, claimed that she had bought a picture in 1959, and since then her 3 sons and her husband have died. She had wondered if the painting was cursed. However, the most frightening of these stories is connected.
But a lot of people died, though, in that time frame. Not just the people who lived in the houses with the paintings, but also the people who lived in the houses without the paintings. This is what they call it, Texas sharpshooter fallacy, where you draw a circle. And it's what David Paulides does as well, if you're familiar with him. Missing 411, that's what it's all about. Take a phenomena that's pretty common across the spectrum, and then you draw a circle around a section of them, and say these people also have this in common, which would be something like, yeah, they bought this painting, or they hiked in this particular park, or whatever, or it was snowing on the day that they left, or whatever. Yeah, something like that. And saying, okay, so this is all correlation. It's causation without correlation. Is the name of the game. But, I mean, and I'm not trying to like dismiss this or anything, but I will warn you that everybody who has confused correlation with causation has died. Everyone, or they will die.
Connected to that of house fires. Dora Mann from Surrey, of whom also appeared in the tabloid press, claimed that her house was gutted by fire only a few months after purchasing a crying boy painting. She said all my paintings were destroyed, except the crying boy. There were other stories similar to this.
Oh my gosh, Donna, you Deep. Sorry, you talked to David Politis. I'd love to pick your brain about it if he actually was able to engage with. If you were actually able to get him to engage with anything you said.
Sandra Cask of Kilburn in North Yorkshire said that both her and her sister-in-law and her friend had all suffered fires since purchasing a crying boy picture. Meanwhile, another family from Nottingham also blamed the crying boy print for a fire of which destroyed their home completely.
Precisely, Brian Stevens. It reminds me of the one Egyptian curse. I think it's King Tut's curse that you're referring to. Curse of the Pharaoh or whatever. 10 people died as a result. It took 53 years. All died in statistically normative, but cursed.
Leaving them homeless. More stories like this continue to come, including people needing treatment for smoke inhalation, fires destroying their entire homes and treasured heirlooms, and almost all of the time they had said that although everything in their lives was destroyed, the crying boy still hung on the wall, undamaged, the wall behind it blackened with the remains of the fire, the print itself completely undamaged. Another reader, of whom sent their story to the Sun, said that they had attempted to destroy the prints by fire themselves, only to find that the prints would not set on fire. Her claim was actually tested by a security guard, of whom threw a crying boy painting onto a bonfire. It was in the flames for over 1 hour and was not even scorched.
Before we do anything else, we need to look at this. It's 2 minutes, but we'll watch it. This is from BBC Radio 4. Punch PI tries to burn the cursed paintings.
Punt, Tracy, got a little something for you. One I looked into myself back in the 80s. We called it The Curse of the Crying Boy. I want you to reopen the case.
There was only one thing left to do. Quiz some boffins about the baffling curse top pick. Or rather, ask some scientists to test the painting in a fire.
In order to enhance the scientific credibility of this test, we're actually filming this. It's quite a big flame. The flame is now about 2 feet high. This is slowly inching towards the figure. Just the lapel of his jacket has disappeared now. There's a hole in the bottom right hand corner of the painting, but the flames don't appear to be spreading across.
Ooh, spooky.
Well, you'd have to say that has not caught fire. It's definitely dying down now. In fact, it's now time to put the sausages on.
The painting had a hole in it from where the fire had touched it, but the flames hadn't spread.
But you'd have to say that fire's pretty much going out.
Martin, though, was a man of science and not given to superstition. For him, the unvarnished truth might be in the varnish.
I'm a bit surprised. I think it's probably been coated in something which is resisting the flames. Whether it's actually some sort of fire retardant coating they put on the picture, or whether it's just some other coating which happens to have fire retardant properties.
As I closed the casebook, one partially charred crying boy portrait sat forlornly outside on the porch. I'm not taking any chances. Would you?
So there's that, you know. Back to the main video.
It was frightening, he said. The fire would not even touch it. I really believe this image is cursed. We feel very at risk with these in our homes, and we are determined to get rid of them. This story returns us to the original article of a fireman believing the paintings to be cursed. The mystery from their perspective was how the paintings had survived the fires. Most cases of discarded cigarettes, chip pan fires, faulty electrical equipment were found to have caused the actual fires in question, and yet...
Well, see, that's, again, back to what Brian Stevens was just saying. This is exactly the situation. It's like, the fires can have completely natural and well-rounded explanations, but they still want to say because the person had this painting in their house, that it was the painting's fault. That if they hadn't had the painting in their house, they could have put their cigarette on this newspaper and it not burned up. Fucking, are you serious?
Nobody could explain how the crying boy had remained untouched and unscathed by the fires. When Rotherham Fire Station contacted the Sun, Alan Wilkinson emerged from there and had logged 50 crying boy fires since the publication of the article, and dating right back to 1973, and yet he dismissed any connection with the supernatural. Wilkinson was an experienced firefighter. He said that he was not superstitious, and he claimed that most fires were simply caused by human carelessness, and there was nothing else to it. However, even he could not explain how the pictures could survive the fires. When his wife was asked what she believed, she claimed that she believed it was the tears of which put the fires out. This occult theme...
But they aren't real tears, Miam. They're paintings of tears. You can't... This isn't Wile E. Coyote where you can paint a doorway on a cliff face and go through it, and you can't draw a bucket of water to put out a fire. That's just not the way the real world works.
Followed with the articles of which followed from the original Sun article. In fact, it soon became quite clear to those researching the topic that the crying boy pictures were not all the same. There was a theme to them, and indeed they were not even by the same artist. The original picture of which featured during the fire in Rotherham was signed by G. Bragolin, and the Sun claimed that this was an original Italian
Hey, NJ, good to see you this morning.
artist. In fact, Giovanni Bragolin was actually a nom de plume, adopted by a Spanish painter known as Bruno Amadeo. This painter was also known as Franco Cheville. Many attempts were then made to trace the artist, and art historians were called in, and yet these historians said that they could not find evidence of this artist, and from there on, things became confusing. To make matters even worse, these different crying boy paintings were found within the fires. Without doubt, these sad, melancholic images of children have been popular for many years. There are crying boys and crying girls, mournful, somber pictures of children in sad remembrance.
Yeah, it's a weird genre that exists. There's lots of weird genres that exist. There was a genre of women. Again, I've covered this before. There was a genre of gorillas stealing women from villages, which is a thing that never happened. But there's a genre of art about it. There's a genre of art where mischievous rabbits perform acts of cruelty on other animals in the margins of medieval books. There's a genre of art about it. You can look it up. Again, in the bestiary show, we've talked about the genre of art where with a beaver ripping off its own testicles. Do you think that happens in reality? Then, but I mean, no, it's just a weird genre of art. People are weird, and they like to be into some weird stuff.
Prayer, and even pictures of boys or girls holding flowers, gazing at them in sadness, or even appearing to be in mourning for a death. In a stark difference to the frightening headlines of the Sun article, some people had emotional bonds to these pictures, and they felt a strong connection to the paintings. They helped them to release emotion. They felt there was something nice about them, and they refused to get rid of them, despite the growing fear of these images. I have never cared for the picture myself because of its sadness, the wife of one owner said. Why would you want a picture of a crying child in the first place? Why would the child be crying? And yet, surely the fact that such pictures can elicit emotion, whether that be melancholy, shared sadness, or even simply a feeling of empathy towards the child,
the candle makes it
explains
kind of the candle gives a little bit of oomph, and that would explain the fire too, because she'd be lighting fires with her ghost candle. Since her ghost tears can put out fires, why can't a ghost candle light them, right? Morning, Mark and Tux, and anybody else pop in here? I thought I saw somebody else, but oh yeah, I already said good morning to my bunny, to my weird bunny in the margins. Hey, cutie pie.
many ways and reasons why people may enjoy such images. Journalists quickly turned to the occult to try and explain the house fires and the figures of the paranormal phenomena associated with the paintings. The Sun actually approached the Folklore Society and found a member known as Georgina Boyes. The interview, however, was brought to a halt after she refused to say that the paintings were satanic for their article. Following this, the Sun newspaper went
it sounds like the Sun was really trying to cultivate some fear around these, some panic around these paintings. It's really weird. It gets weirder.
In search of witches, wizards, and other occult experts, and in fact, as they said, anyone who was into this type of thing to make a headline. Roy Vickery, the then secretary of the Folklore Society, said that the effect here could be that an original artist may have mistreated a child model in some way, and this way the fire could be the child's curse coming through the paintings, a psychic way of getting revenge.
That wouldn't explain why all these different pictures of different kids, though. And again, it sounds like the Sun was asking this guy the same way that if the way that what's his name asked Richard Dawkins, that Ben Stein asked Richard Dawkins about if there was a non-evolutionary origins to life, what would it be? Same kind of thing. This person's like, if there was a supernatural element behind this crying boy curse, what would it be? As that sounds like the type of question they were asking this folklorist. And he's like, well, in folklore, things like this tend to be like, oh, somebody maybe abused a child, there was a burning orphanage, that kind of stuff.
In other words, he was claiming that the artist may have painted a picture of an abused or neglected child, and that this child, through their tears and sadness, had brought sadness, and therefore a type of retribution onto the owners. Such stories did very little to calm the fears of the public.
That is absolutely right. Yeah, the British Inquirer, the British equivalent of the Daily Inquirer, says Marguerite. Yes, the Sun is. Isn't the Sun basically a tabloid? Yeah, and they acknowledged that at the beginning. You highly suspect the artist was using, at the time, new Starlight paint. Right area of UK for it to have been available in right date range. It takes 1,000 degrees Celsius to light it. Yeah, Brian Stevens is dropping spoilers for my suspicion on the origins here. But let's see. It wasn't in the UK though, so we'll have to explore that. Okay, is internet not broken anymore? I don't think it was broken here on this end. I hope it was. I hope you all were still able to see me. Anyway, let's keep going.
Soon enough, fire stations around the country were actually asking people to send their crying boy pictures to them if they were afraid that they were cursed. Send your pictures to us, they claimed, and we will destroy them safely for you, and therefore you need not worry that you are cursed. Strangely enough, however, when a fireman reported to have taken down an image of Winston Churchill in their fire station and replaced it with a crying boy, the boss immediately said, "Take that down, I do not like it. It is bad luck." There are also many other similar stories of firemen who did believe that these paintings were bad luck.
Just someone not liking the aesthetics of a painting with a crying child, especially when you take a picture down of like I'd say in the 20th century, the greatest leader or whatever that the UK had was Winston Churchill, which may or may not be true, but he was the leader during World War II, so he gets that title. And replacing it with an image of just a child crying. Yeah, I can understand not wanting to do that and not having to do with a curse.
Look,
just not liking it.
One fireman known as Alan Wilkinson was presented with a framed image of a crying boy upon his retirement. Mr. Wilkinson denied being superstitious, and yet he immediately returned the painting, claiming that he simply did not like it. Whether the fireman believed that these paintings were cursed or not is immaterial, especially when we go back to the Sun newspaper, of whom soon found out that the fire brigade was asking for people to send their crying boy paintings in, and ran with this story. The Sun soon had a story on Halloween with the headline, "The Sun nails the curse of the weeping boy for good," and with it came a photograph of a page 3 girl feeding a bonfire with many hundreds of crying boy pictures, of which were loaded into a van before the image was taken. Strangely, many members of the public believed
They look like they're burning just fine here, though. Look at them.
This stunt to be a type of exorcism, of which had stopped the curse, at least temporarily. In fact, stories about crying boys soon began to decrease, and interest waned. There were a few stories, and yet soon it was...
So, let's see. Yeah, the internet's always broken. Yes, Mark Reed. The older home versions of Starlight has 10 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 4 teaspoons of Elmer's PVA glue, all common materials. Yeah, PVA glue, even non-Elmer's PVA glue can, depending on the chemical composition, can make a good fire retardant as a coating. That's the only reason I know that, it's really weird because we built a log cabin out of popsicle sticks and coated it with like generic PVA glue, the one that has the bottle with the brush, coated it on the outside with that over top of the varnish to make it waterproof. And then we tried to burn it, stuffed it with grass and tried to burn it and stuff. We were just kids being weird, doing army men stuff and whatnot, and dinosaurs. But yeah, it wouldn't burn because of the glue on the outside. But I don't know if that glue would hold up to 1,000 degrees though. So there's that.
Was forgotten. That was until the following year, when crying boy stories once more began to return. This time, however, new urban legends were attached to them. Some stories even suggested that the paintings were now good luck instead of bad. Similar to this, stories said that placing a crying girl next to a crying boy would bring good luck to the house or ward off evil spirits, perhaps harkening back to the old folklore beliefs of duality and of joining two souls together. The original 1985 story, however, did not claim.
So that, I mean, that's a weird notion that 2 crying children will be better than 1. Okay.
To know why the paintings were cursed or why they were associated with the paranormal. And neither did it go very far, apart from a few baseless interviews with so-called occult experts in explaining why the paintings were untouched.
Yeah, Mark Reed's in Australia. Yeah, well, it's hot AF over here, mate. It was 45 degrees Celsius the other day. Yeah, that's hot.
By the fires. The arrival of the internet, however, enabled people to research these stories much deeper than what was ever possible in the 80s. By looking into the stories online, people could find evidence of crying boy fires from all over the world, and not just the UK. These stories claimed all manner of things, from poltergeist activity.
So, like, the crying boy art is like maybe the equivalent of the deer at the Autumn Brook photo or paintings that were popular in the U.S. from the late 60s until the mid 80s. Just deer or families of deer in a forest by a brook in autumn. Like everybody had that painting in their house, right? And then you could draw correlation between everybody who had that painting and house fires and say, oh, these are haunted paintings, because so many people had that because it was a common decor at the time.
To psychic mediums claiming to have contacted the spirit of the boy in the painting, as well, of course, as many house fires. This led to a resurgence of a kind in the idea that the boy in the painting was abused or neglected in some way. Of particular note, when tracing the history of the original Yorkshire house fire from the article connected with crying boy paintings, the name of George Mallory can be found. Mallory was said to be a well-respected researcher in occult matters, as well as a retired schoolteacher. He said that he had actually traced the artist of whom painted the original picture, of whom he quoted to be an old Spanish portrait artist named Francesco Seville, of whom lives in Madrid. And it just so happens that Seville is one of the pseudonames of Bruno Amadeus or G. Bragelin, of which the original painting was signed by. According to this narrative, G. Bragelin or Seville, or whatever his real name may have been, claimed himself that
his real name was Bruno Armadillo. Bruno Armadillo was his birth name. As far as all records show, he was born in Venice, Italy on the 9th of November 1911. He's not a mysterious person. The paintings, when he was marketing them, he actually marketed them as, let me use a slur here, and I'm sorry, the Gypsy Boys, even though these children that were painted allegedly had no connection whatsoever to the Romani people. So, for what it's worth, I'm just looking at his Wikipedia article here. So it's not like he's this mysterious figure. He's like a known dude.
Painting was that of a small homeless child, of whom he had found wandering the streets. This child never said a word, and he had a sorrowful look to his eyes, inspiring the artist to paint the boy. After the painting was completed, a Catholic priest identified the boy in the painting as Don Ponillo, a small child of whom had ran away from home after seeing his parents die in a fire. The priest reportedly told the artist to have nothing to do with this runaway child.
This is a modern addition to the folklore. The Don Benilo and the Diablo stuff is not like part of the original story. This is stuff that's this is 21st century editions.
Because wherever the boy settles, fires mysteriously broke out. An event so common that villagers called him Diablo because of his association with fires. The painter apparently
modern additions to the folklore.
Ignored the priest's advice and actually went as far as adopting the child. His pictures of this crying boy began to sell well, and yet one day his studio was destroyed by fire and his career was over. He accused the boy of setting fire to his collection on purpose, and the child ran away in tears, never to be seen again. This story continues that all over Europe reports were seen of crying boy paintings beginning to cause fires after...
Those are not boys though. There's not the same person in all these paintings. They act like it's the same Don Benito when only one of these can be Don Benito, or maybe a few of them from different angles, but they're obviously pictures of different children crying.
The child had run away. The artist was regarded as having cursed the image himself, and from then on, many people got rid of all of his paintings or refused to have them in their houses. In the year 1976, a car exploded into a fireball on the outskirts of Barcelona after veering off the road and crashing into a wall. The victim inside was burnt beyond all recognition, and yet part of his driving license was found. The name upon this license was a now 19-year-old Don Ponillo, the same child from the Crying Boy pictures. Was this the same boy? The devil child of whom brought the fires?
That's additional folklore, though, that you're adding on there yourself, dude. Or that some tabloid journalist is adding on.
And the curse upon the many strange pictures of himself. Some have claimed that it was, and that the child, Ponillo, had a type of psychokinetic ability to create fire. This has been documented, such as the telekinetic medium Nino Conlino, of whom is said to have been able to create fire at will with the power of their mind. And
you cannot say this is documented and then talk about a bunch of woo masters who Amazing Randy could trounce with a simple experiment. This person could not make fire with their mind. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
It reminds me very much of the inner fire of the Kundalini awakening experience, said to rise throughout the chakras, burst out of the head, resulting in enlightenment. And this also reminds me of the strange phenomena of spontaneous human combustion, where people are said to burst into flames without any external source.
Oh, sweetie, we could go into a whole nother episode about spontaneous human combustion. Does the Hive want an episode about spontaneous human combustion in the future? Let's see. We're going to start a poll. Do you want a cryptic corner? Oh, put a space. About... There you go. Do you want a cryptic corner about spontaneous human combustion?
And for no reason whatsoever. Of course, the appearance of Don Ponillo and the theory that he is indeed the boy in the paintings completes the story, bringing us back to the original article in the Sun paper, a full urban legend of which is accessible to anybody and even links us to a potential real person behind it. There is, of course, very little factual evidence that Ponillo truly existed, or that the artist came across such a child in the first place. And yet, such is the case with supernatural stories of all manners such as this. One can research so far, and then they will come across dead ends time and time again.
So, to clarify, about Giovanni Bragolin, right? Dude was still alive until like the 70s. Look, we have a death date on it for him and where he's buried and everything. He's not a mysterious figure. Died September 22nd, 1981 at the age of 69 in Padua, Italy. And yeah, he continued to work and paint in Padua, Italy, and sell his paintings in Padua, Italy. It's not, it's just attacking on the folklore to a real person's life that's easily overturned.
And you will not be able to get any further. Perhaps the truth does not want to be found, some would say. Crying Boy paintings have very much disappeared into obscurity within the modern day, and yet, in recent times there has been a slight resurgence of this legend. This time, the Star newspaper reported that a fire had destroyed a house in Rotherham yet again, of where the legend began. This time, the owner claimed that there were 3 separate house fires, and each house...
Now we have the Daily Star jumping into the game.
...had a Crying Boy painting hanging on the wall. Of course, in our modern skeptical society, this has led to people doing their own experiments onto such pictures. Some have concluded that the Crying Boy paintings were treated with a special type of varnish, of which contained a fire-retardant substance. This, they claim, would be enough on its own to stop the paintings from burning. And yet, they also claim that if the wall behind it was to crumble because of the fire, that the weight of the substance upon the painting would result in it landing face down on the floor and protecting it from...
Not only that, there's the way they hang these old paintings is through a piece of twine across the back, right? And that twine would not have been fire treated, so the twine would just Done.
Any further fire damage. This has not stopped the myth of the crying boy, however. In fact, there was even a crying boy fan club on the internet, albeit for a very brief period, until it too disappeared in the year 2006. Very little remained.
Yeah, humans are into some weird stuff. I'm not gonna say that, oh, this is, you know, evidence of supernatural. People are like into the crying boy. People are into precious moment figurines. People are into some weird stuff.
Of what was on this website, and yet, if one does a little bit of research, they can find a post.
And I say this with a wall full of bugs behind me, so yeah, I'm into some weird stuff too.
From one Rodrigo Faria of Brazil. He attributes the paintings yet again to Giovanni Bragolin, and he adds that Bragolin knew that sensations of fear and of terror and of illness were always associated with his paintings. Rodrigo Faria's post goes on to say that these prints were popular in Brazil in the 1980s. He says, "I have seen all the 28, and I can assure you that these paintings are representations of dead children. They are filled with subliminal messages." He goes on to state that Bragolin had made an evil pact in order to sell his paintings and used occult works to gain his fame and fortune.
Ooh.
His post finishes with the warning, "Please, if you have one of these paintings, throw it away, now."
So you're gonna slander an artist, I guess. That's fine. Do that. It's within your... Oh. Good night. Good night, Mark. It's nighttime, bedtime in Australia. Alright, that was the Left-Handed Path. They do documentaries about supernatural stuff. Yeah, Left-Handed Path documentaries. Got the comments turned off here, interestingly enough, but let's go give their channel a quick look. Let's see, they got 1.83k subscribers, so they're a little bit bigger than me, but around the same size. They talking against Curse the Hex some heads. We did that. Let's see what else they got. Anything new? 8 days ago, Gnome Sweet Gnome. Eccentric history of garden gnomes. So it's not all supernatural stuff. Got some fairy history. Story of Blackpool, fresh air and fun. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of folklore and stuff that you can glean from this channel if you're into that. But yeah, we probably revisit them again. That was a fun video, well put together documentary. 2 thumbs up. I'm going to subscribe, or Dennis is going to subscribe anyway. So yeah, what do you all think of the folklore about the crying boy, though? Do you think it's just the same it's the same correlation doesn't equal causation kind of arguments that we always see with these things associated with the supernatural, because they make draw connections that may not actually be there? Let us know in the comments down below, and yeah, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. Okay, live from the Hive audience. Don't go anywhere, because we got plenty more show to go. This is just the first hour of 3. So we have some, what do we have coming up next? Ooh, hybrids. Yeah, so I will see you guys over there in just a few minutes in Sci-Fails.
I just learned about Jeff the Talking Mongoose, a legendary creature that the Irving family claimed lived with them on the Isle of Man. The family said the mongoose lived within their walls and spoke to them, and people came from miles around to see the thing firsthand. And though they never found much proof, despite a lengthy search for clues, scientists, reporters, and the like all tried their best. And through it all, young Bori Irving still claimed that the thing was serving as their rodent guardian and maintained it till her death. She said he'd say where all could hear it, I am an earthbound spirit. And then he'd say these words I'd be remembered by. He'd say, I am a freak, I have hands and I have feet, and if you saw me you'd faint, you'd be petrified.
And I say, so what you're telling me is if I blow a hurricane through a junkyard enough times, over billions and billions of years, eventually after one of those hurricanes, there'll be a 747 fully loaded and ready to fly.
What he's talking about, one of the things he's talking about biology here, in which case we're talking about like niche vacuums. So the tornado is the extinction event, right? The tornado comes through and wipes everything out. And then life starts to come back. So it's the space between the tornadoes that creates the new life. And at some point, one of those tornadoes came through and it wiped out some big, some giant archosaurs, right? And this allowed these little scampering, warm-blooded mammals to have a chance. Tornado came through this little junkyard. These little tiny primates were able to start propagating and expanding and their ranges and moving into new niches and becoming more successful. Eventually, these little monkey guys even started to create their own technology, and that happened so fast. And eventually, they started taking aspects of other organisms on the earth and trying to emulate them, like flight. So then they built machines that could fly, and eventually they invented this 747 or whatever that he's talking about here. So this tornado, which the last big tornado I guess would be the KPG extinction event, did come through our junkyard. The myriad of life on Earth, it did blast right through that junkyard. What was it, like 65% or something like that of life on Earth, where the iridium layer is, right? Where we can see on one side and on the other. So that iridium layer represents when the tornado came through. So the tornado came through the junkyard, and then as the organisms started to recover from that, and our little monkey hands started to want to build technology to fly, boom, the tornado in the junkyard did come through, and boom, we have 747s now. So yes, Ben Carson is right here. What happened, as long as we understand the metaphor, right? In the metaphor, the tornado is the extinction event, Earth is the junkyard, and the 747 is the result of the tornado coming through, wiping out the organisms that couldn't build 747s, and then letting the organisms that could propagate. Sorry, just a second here. I got something out of order here. It's annoying me. I'll restart the intro here in just a second. I'm just trying to fix this. I don't got time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that in the middle of my live stream. Alright, well, we'll just do it this way. I'll move this down here. We'll just do this. Good evening, my beauties and bees, and welcome to yet another episode of Sci-Fails. Today, we are going to be looking at another animal video. Last week, I think it was the wind turbines and some bad science about those. But today we got something more in my wheelhouse even, because we're talking about animals, and we're going to stretch. We are going to stretch today. So that's why I'm wearing a stretchy shirt, because we need to stretch, because we are talking about 20 animal hybrids, and we're going to stretch the definition of hybrids to its very, very limit. To its very, very limit, we're going to stretch that. So, come along for the ride, if you will, as we do mixed phenomenon. Mixed phenomenon. 20 hybrid animals created by scientists you won't believe exist. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to say here. First of all, I don't think the majority, some of these things are going to be created by scientists, but the ones that are hybrids really aren't. They're created by animal caretakers, people, farmers and breeders. Some bizarre things about this video that might stand out to you is that we have a channel with 383K subscribers, but this video is from 3 months ago, only has 1.8K views, and only has 2 comments. So, not really churning out their best. And they're using imagery from BBC Earth, but I use imagery from BBC Earth too if I need to. But let's go ahead and see what they have to say about 20 animal hybrids created by scientists. Oy, ay, ay.
In a significant advancement, scientists have successfully developed the first human-animal hybrids, aiming to alleviate the shortage of donor organs.
Almost 2,000 experiments.
Now, this is true, and this is cool that we are working feverishly. We have real scientists working feverishly to create organisms that can produce viable human organs to help the medical field move forward in fighting the things that would be terminal without these innovations.
That we have done with the pig, and we haven't been able to detect a single cell going into the brain.
Also, there have been a lot of hybrids of different animals to meet specific needs. It's essential to note that not all hybrid animals seen online are fake. Some are genuine combinations of different breeds. The history of crossbreeding is
hybrid is not a combination of different breeds. Combination of different breeds is still the same species and not a hybrid. A hybrid is a combination between, at the very least, 2 different species within a genus. Good morning, Gur. Good morning. Remember the 25th of November. Is that a poem? Are we getting poetry from Gur? Did Gur come in here and write poetry for me? I'm going to do like the girl thing and just be like, aw, you got me a poem. Okay, I'm done. Back to the show. Yay.
extensive, and in this video we'll discuss in detail such hybrid animals, assessing their adaptability and success in the real world. Join us as we explore 20 hybrid animals created by scientists. Number 20, wolf dog. Just like the name, this is the crossing of a wolf and a
and it is not a hybrid. I'll explain why, but I'll let them talk for a little
domestic dog. Among the various wolf species available for such hybridization, one can consider the red wolf, gray wolf, Ethiopian wolf, and more. However, the gray wolf tends to be the most commonly used in these crossings.
Some of those are species and some of them are not. Let's go back just a second here. Okay, so the red wolf is species, Canis rufus. All right? The coyote is a species, Canis lantris. The rest of the wolves here are subspecies of Canis lupus. The rest of the species that he's going to name. Okay? So let's just keep everything in line here. So Canis lantris and Canis rufus are not species of wolves. So a cross between a coyote and a dog and a coyote and a wolf is a hybrid. A cross between a red wolf and a coyote, a red wolf and a gray wolf, and a red wolf and a dog is a hybrid. A cross between a dog and a gray wolf is not a hybrid. A cross between a dog and a gray wolf is two subspecies of the same species in their breeding, which is not hybridization as we know it. So, but coy dogs are. Wolf dogs are not, unless it's a red wolf, which it's not. It's not ever a red wolf. It's always Canis lupus.
However, the gray wolf tends to be the most commonly used
Canis lupus, because it's the same species as the dog.
Used in these crossings, primarily due to its close genetic relationship with domestic dogs,
them being the same species and therefore not a hybrid.
Making it easier to achieve successful hybrid offspring.
Because they're not hybrid offspring, they're just Canis lupus puppies.
One notable characteristic of these wolf dog hybrids is their size, which can vary depending on the proportion of wolf genetic material present. In general, hybrids with a higher percentage of wolf DNA tend to be larger, sometimes even surpassing the size of most domestic dogs. As the genetic distance from domestic dog traits increases, these hybrids may display more wolf-like behaviors and characteristics.
Because your dog will never grow up. Your dog never grows past the stage where it is a juvenile vying for your approval all the time. Your dog will never get past that. Your wolf, or your hybrid wolf, does go through puberty where it develops a adult personality. Now, how it relates to you with that adult personality is subjective, but your wolf will grow up and your dog never will. Your dog will always be adolescent at the most mature. Even in old age, they have adolescent behavior. So they're very very childlike in their behavior, very neonatic, which is common for all domestic animals, because in the wild, it's a vying for, a dominant position in the group, whereas when we're domesticating organisms, we tend to pick the lower rungs, the individuals that are less domineering, the individuals that have less leadership personalities. We want pliable animals for our domestic animals. So we do like the opposite of what nature does. That's why your dog will always be immature and submissive, whereas wild wolves will grow into an adult with a lot of independent personality and making adult decisions for itself that may not actually be in its best interest, but they're adult decisions like, should I rip this guy's throat out and try to get out that gate?
Caring for a wolf-dog hybrid requires a distinct approach from that of typical domestic dogs. Due to their carnivorous nature, they necessitate an exclusive diet that meets their specific nutritional needs. This might include a diet rich in raw meat and other essential nutrients that sustain their natural tendencies as carnivores. Consequently, keeping them as pets or companions requires a thorough understanding of their dietary requirements and commitment to providing appropriate nutrition. Another aspect to consider is their behavior. While some wolf-dog hybrids may exhibit friendly and docile traits, many retain a more reserved and independent nature, similar to their wild wolf ancestors. This temperament can make training and socialization more challenging, requiring experienced and patient owners who understand their unique needs. Number 19, Beefalo. Beefalos are fascinating hybrid animals resulting from the...
All right, so this should be the first hybrid on the list, because what we just talked about was not a hybrid, but a beefalo is definitely a hybrid. Not made by scientists, though, just made by cattle breeders.
Crossbreeding of domestic cows and American bison, also known as buffalo. This unique combination was first attempted in the late 19th century to harness the ruggedness of bison and the excellent meat production of domestic cattle. The desired goal was indeed achieved, as beefalos possess a stocky build and can be quite substantial, weighing up to an impressive 1,000 kilograms. Their appearance stands out with the characteristic bison hump on their shoulders and a dense coat. Being a hybrid, beefalos inherit traits from both...
Those are beefalos. Everything else they've showed so far is just bison. So, make no mistake, all the images they've shown so far, except for this one right here, is of bison. These are beefalo. Notice they're distinct, not having the mane, and not having the bulge on their nose quite so pronounced as you see in a bison. These are very distinct animals.
Their parent species, leading to variations in coat color and horn size based on their specific breeding. Despite the combination, they typically appear slightly shorter than regular cows, presenting a striking blend of features from both species. One notable advantage of beefaloes is their fertility right from the beginning, allowing them to reproduce naturally. Additionally, they have inherited some fantastic traits from bison, such as increased resistance to
That's because Boss Bison and Boss Taurus are very closely related.
Diseases and parasites. This enhanced resilience makes them well suited to endure harsh weather conditions and consume lower quality forage, making them an eco-friendly and sustainable choice for meat production. The success of this hybridization showcases the best of both worlds, with beefaloes offering excellent meat quality while adapting well to various...
Has anyone seen the videos where tourist was bothering the bison and got her pants ripped off? Yes, I've seen lots of videos of tourists bothering bisons. I thought about doing a compilation of them just to say, hey, this is what happens when you mess with wildlife. Maybe people running from bears and getting gored by bison and stuff. That might be fun. Let's see. My friend Blue had a wolf German Shepherd mix. The county put him down for killing sheep. Yeah, it's hard to defeat that natural instinct of the wolf once they mature. They want to hunt. The littlest hobo was a particularly mature dog. Yeah, some dogs can be mature for a dog, but they weren't mature for a wolf, if you get my meaning. Nah, they just need a roof to howl at the moon on when their mood strikes. You think so? Malamutes are so big they have to work up a bark, and when it hits, it's like, whoa. Is it like my transition to the guy singing about Jeff the Talking Mongoose? Because that was loud. I apologize. Anyone see that? Oh, yeah, we saw that. God, I'm going to snap on the OnlyFans website right now, I swear. Someone subscribed to mine, and I had mine temporarily shut down, and it's weird that someone subscribed to it, so that's weird. Yeah, if you're having problems with them too, maybe it's something internal. I can't get logged into mine because I got it temporarily closed down. I haven't seen that one, but a lot of tourists are idiots. Absolutely. I did, Native. Saw a few tossed here and there too. Yeah. I used to be you could get beefalo in Buffalo, Ohio. Oh my gosh, that was a hard to say. OnlyFans has a registered nurse. It seems like you need to vent, Sumami. Yeah. Vent away. We're talking about beefalos right now. We're about done and moving on to the next one.
Various environmental challenges. However, despite these benefits, some people express concerns and disapproval regarding the breeding of these animals, as they are raised primarily for eventual slaughter, which raises ethical...
Isn't all beef cattle raised for slaughter, though? I mean, you can't really raise the same argument against beefalo without raising the same argument against domestic cattle in general, which I'm here for. Make the argument, but don't say, oh, well, beefalo are different because of this X factor, when all domestic cattle suffers the same.
Ethical considerations. Number 18, liger. It's true that while the mythical liger became popular in pop culture through movies like Napoleon Dynamite...
Homie, I've known about the liger since I was like 7. Not everybody's learning about this stuff through Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know. Maybe you guys did. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you knew about them before. I'd actually seen a liger before Napoleon Dynamite was ever shot. When I was a kid, we went to one of those cheap, icky drive-through zoos, and they had ligers. And they had white tigers too. They had one white tiger with like a bulldog face from being so inbred. Sad. Just sad.
Scientists knew that ligers are indeed real. They are one of the most well-known hybrid animals, resulting from the mating of a male lion with a female tiger. However, you won't find them roaming...
It's because the growth inhibiting genes are missing. The growth inhibiting genes in the lions are in the female, and female tigers don't have that because they got to get big too to be able to take down large animals by themselves, whereas the male lions just have to be big to fight other male lions, while the female lions generally take down the prey. So the male lions have no growth inhibiting genes whatsoever. The female lions do. Female tigers do not. So when you mix a male lion and a female tiger, what do you get?
The savanna in the wild.
Giant.
They only exist in zoos and sanctuaries where they've been bred. Ligers are unique in that they grow much larger than either of their parent species, and this is a result of a condition called gigantism. As a result, ligers can weigh around 1,000 pounds, which is too much for their bodies to adequately support.
Yeah, it's like the size of a bear, but not with the bone structure of a bear to actually allow them to be efficient. Yeah.
This leads to a sad existence for them, as they often suffer from health problems due to their excessive weight, putting a strain on their organs and heart.
Mm-hmm.
Consequently, seeing a liger running around even within an enclosure is rare, as their health issues limit their mobility. While the idea of ligers may seem fascinating on paper, the reality is that their gigantism affects their overall well-being, and many of them die at a young age.
That's with gigantism in any species too. If an animal is suffering with gigantism, they're not living their best life. They're struggling with joint pain, and their organs are working harder than anybody's organs should be to keep their blood pumping and their juices flowing. So it's a rough ride all around for somebody dealing with this, and ligers are no different. Now, a tigon is smaller. The cool thing about a tigon is that they can have they generally can have manes, whereas ligers usually don't have a mane. They might have a little scruffle of a mane.
Age due to health complications. Despite these difficulties, ligers are fertile, and though uncommon, they can mate with other ligers, tigers, and lions. However, the offspring from these interbreedings may pose additional concerns due to their mixed genetic makeup. Number 17, zonkey. A zonkey is a type of zebroid, which is a term used for hybrids resulting from the mating of a zebra with another equine species.
This is another one that actually is a true hybrid. So we got, so far, we had 3 out of 4. So they're doing better than I thought they were going to do at this point. 3 out of 4 of these are actual real hybrids.
Such as a horse or a donkey. The zonkey in particular comes from a male zebra mating with a female donkey, while the reverse pairing, a male donkey with a female zebra, creates a Z-donk. Zonkeys typically exhibit the body shape and build of a donkey, adorned with the distinctive zebra stripes on their coat, particularly on their legs.
Well, zebras have kind of the build of a donkey, though. Zebras and donkeys are very closely related genetically, and and in their natural habitats, at least some species of donkeys, they fill the same niche. I think there are species of zebra that are closer related to donkeys than they are to other species of zebra.
And sometimes on their body and head. In terms of size, zonkeys can vary, with shoulder heights ranging between 1.2 and 1.5 meters, depending on the breed of donkey involved in the cross. Due to their zebra ancestry, they can be somewhat trickier to handle compared to typical domesticated donkeys.
And you're going to run into the same problem we talked about with the wolves and dogs there, that zebras are not good at, they have not been domesticated. No one's put the time in with zebras to domesticate them to serve the same functions as a donkey serves.
Their wild temperament inherited from zebras presents some challenges, but with proper training and handling, zonkeys can become safe and manageable for domestic purposes. Bred primarily for their unique and striking appearance, zonkeys can also serve as work animals in certain cases. However, Their temperament may require extra attention during training to ensure they are well-behaved and cooperative. Number 16, Hinny. The Hinny is a fascinating hybrid animal resulting from the mating of a female donkey with a male.
All right, so we're sticking with the equid hybrids right now, and we're doing good on them because these are all hybrids, right? But I mean, mules and Hinnies are like the most common hybrids I can think of.
Horse. It is essentially the opposite of a mule and appears much smaller than its well-known cousin. Despite its size, the Hinny is surprisingly strong, thanks to its tough legs, making it a valuable pack animal capable of carrying more weight than
And Hinnies are also super cute.
expected. Unlike the mule, the Hinny has the advantage of being visually more appealing with a better overall appearance. It combines beauty with brawn, making it an attractive and robust hybrid. While it may not be the most...
I will open back my own. I'll open my OnlyFans back up sometime, I'm sure. I'm just trying to work on some personal stuff first before I do. So if somebody's interested in that, it's not going to be before the new year, though, that I start putting out content again.
Intelligent animal, Hinny knows how to get the job done efficiently. The reason for the distinction between mules and Hinnies lies in the dominant traits of the mother. When a female horse mates with a male donkey, the resulting offspring is a mule because horses typically pass on their size-determining genes, making the mule larger in stature. However, when the
very similar to how that happens in the situation with the tigers and the lions passing on the size
opposite
gene.
Pairing occurs with a female donkey and a male horse. The resulting hybrid, the Hinny, is smaller because the donkey's genes influence its size. Number 15.
Yeah, it depends on where those size genes are. Now, I mean, obviously it's the same with any species hybridizing, but there can be dwarfism too. There's if you cross a leopard with a puma, you get a dwarf. I don't think they're on the list though, but there are some other big cats on this list coming up. So this next one is not a hybrid.
Green sea slug.
Not a hybrid.
The green sea slug is undeniably one of the most extraordinary hybrid animals, securing the 15th
No, it's not a hybrid
spot on the list. This peculiar creature stands out because it incorporates genetic material from the algae it consumes into its own DNA.
Through horizontal gene transfer, not hybridization. What are you even talking about? What are you talking about here?
Making it quite unique in the animal kingdom. As it feeds on plants, the slug uses photosynthesis to generate its nutrients, resulting in its vivid green coloration and earning it the name emerald green Elysia among scientists. Unlike typical hybrid animals that are the result of the mating of two different species,
unlike hybrid animals, which are hybrid animals that are hybrids, this thing is not a hybrid. This is a species that through ancestral horizontal gene transfer has incorporated certain elements of the DNA of another organism in order to help sustain its metabolism.
the green sea slug is essentially a combination of everything it consumes. This remarkable ability allows it to appear like a large green plant as it floats in the ocean. The process by which the slug achieves this feat still baffles scientists, and ongoing research aims to unravel the mysteries behind this fascinating phenomenon. The green sea slug's capability of gene transfer from algae to itself is an exceptional and rare occurrence in the animal kingdom.
Which is not hybridization, as this video said it was about hybrids.
This remarkable adaptation sets it apart from other creatures and continues to intrigue scientists worldwide. If you ever find yourself near shallow tidal areas, marshes, or creeks, and spot bright green leaves floating in the water, there's a chance it might not be a plant after all. It could very well be a green sea slug, cleverly disguising itself in plain sight, showcasing nature's ingenuity and complexity.
And not a hybrid.
Number 14. Growler bear. Encountering a growler bear while camping can be an immensely nerve-wracking experience. These massive and formidable creatures are a hybrid between a grizzly bear and a polar bear, making them even more unpredictable and
And what frickin' scientist do you think made this? The title of your video is 20 hybrid animals created by scientists you won't believe exist. What scientist threw together the growler bear? Do you think there's some mad scientist in the Yukon, like with a secret laboratory, splicing the genes of grizzly bear and a polar bear, or even breeding them in cages? Do you think that that's happening? No, these animals are interacting in the wild naturally, because the polar bears, they no longer have the sea ice. They live on the coast. You know who comes to the coast when the sea ice melts? Grizzly bears. Okay, so they're both in or you could say, technically, I don't like it, but you could say that polar bears are Ursus Arctosis maritimus instead of Ursus maritimus, but they really aren't, but they are. It's hard to, if I say that they're Ursus Arctosis maritimus, I feel like it takes away from the need to protect them by calling polar bears a subspecies of brown bear, but they really are. They really are. They're Ursus Arctosis maritimus. You won't see that a lot because for conservation reasons, it's important to keep them as listed as Ursus maritimus specifically. For conservation reasons specifically, but not because that's what they are genetically.
Dangerous. The growler bear, a product of these two bear species crossing paths, is a sobering reminder of the impact of climate change on wildlife. The rise of the growler bear sightings can be attributed to the shifting landscapes caused by...
I will say I like growler bear better than pizzly bear. I could do a poll on that too. Let's see who likes growler bear and who likes pizzly bear better. Let's see. Start a poll. Which is better? Growler, pizzly. So you guys tell me with your votes.
Climate change. As the Arctic regions shrink due to rising temperatures, polar bears are venturing southward in search of new territories and resources. In their quest for survival, they increasingly overlap with grizzly bear habitats, leading to the potential for hybridization. The sad reality is that these animals are facing significant challenges as their traditional with grizzly bear habitats, leading...
What is the point in putting this brown bear, or sorry, this black bear in the middle of this? The black bear has nothing to do with this hybridization. This black bear is like, hey, I'm just trying to do black bear stuff. And you're like, nope, we're talking about growler bears. So we are going to need a picture of you. And he's like, why? But you can see on his face, he's confused about why they're taking this picture. Maybe you can't because I got the thing too big. Hold on, let me adjust the size on that because I think we can do better than that. Yeah, let's do it like this. There you go. It doesn't need to be that big. All right, there we go.
To the potential for hybridization. The sad reality is that these animals are facing significant challenges as their traditional habitats are rapidly changing. The consequences of these hybrid sightings extend beyond the immediate danger they...
That's not a growler bear there either. That's just a brown bear.
...pose to campers and hunters. They reflect the larger ecological implications of climate change and how it disrupts the delicate balance of ecosystems. The encroachment of polar bears into grizzly bear territory can result in competition for food and resources, affecting the natural balance of both species. As reports of growler bear sightings become more common, wildlife experts and conservationists are closely monitoring the situation. Understanding the behavior and habitat preferences of these hybrids is crucial for their conservation.
Well, they're going to probably be a border species, right? You left the Yukon in the 1970s? I didn't know you'd been to the Yukon, Brian.
Conservation efforts are also being intensified to address the root causes of their hybridization, such as promoting sustainable practices to mitigate the effects of climate change. Number 13, human pink hybrid. The creation of chimeras, organisms with cells from two different species, such as pigs with a few human cells, has indeed been a highly controversial topic.
See, this is the stuff that's good. This is where we need to be going right here. This is probably my favorite one on here. It's not really. I mean, I guess it could be. You could call it a hybrid, but there's no fertilization of a pig embryo with a human, of a pig's egg with a human sperm, or vice versa. That doesn't happen in this experiment. They just add some genes to the piggy that are human, so that they produce viable organs for us.
In this case, the purpose behind creating such chimeras was to explore the possibility of growing human organs for transplantation, aiming to overcome the challenges of organ shortages and reliance on human donors. Pigs were considered an ideal.
Man, ain't nobody like the Pizzly Bear. I can end this poll right now. 100% Growler Bear. Yeah, I don't know who would have even thought to call it a Pizzly Bear. That sounds ridiculous.
Ideal choice for this endeavor, since their organs are biologically similar to ours. The U.S. research team's efforts resulted in the creation of a record 108 chimera embryos, and to their surprise, some of these embryos managed to survive to term. However, despite their persistence, the overall outcome was far from successful. The ratio of human cells to pig cells in these chimeras was extremely low, with just one human cell for every 100,000 pig cells. This disproportion could lead to guaranteed rejection if organs were to be produced from these chimeras.
Well, the science is in its infancy, though. We can work on getting higher and higher ratios of human to pig cells in these embryos, in order to get viable stem cells to build, whatever. We don't have to let them. They don't have to be able to develop into an organism, right? Matter of fact, that should never be the goal. Is to actually allow these things to develop into embryos or into fetuses. Even the idea should be to get them while their stem cells are viable, to harvest the stem cells to build organs for people waiting for organs on those donor lists
for transplantation. The ethical implications and scientific challenges surrounding chimeras have sparked extensive debates in the scientific community and beyond. While the idea of growing human organs in animals might offer a potential solution to organ transplantation issues, concerns about the implications of mixing human and animal cells and the potential for unforeseen consequences raise important ethical considerations. Number 12, human monkey.
It's what's his name? Is Don Giamatti? Is from Planet of the Apes. You can tell by his eyes. Paul Giamatti. I can't believe I said his last. Sorry, Mr. Giamatti. I appreciate you. You're an amazing actor. Always great in your roles, including this one, which was a terrible movie, but you were good in it. He had something that came out just a couple months ago that was really good too, and I can't remember what the name of it was.
Key hybrid. Scientists have explored the idea of chimeras in macaque monkeys as a potential avenue for organ transplantation research. Macaque monkeys are considered more ideal candidates than pigs due to their closer genetic relationship to humans. In a joint project led by American and Chinese researchers, 25 human cells were injected into monkey embryos. Remarkably, after a few days, over one...
Again, this is not actual hybridization per se, as in creating a organism that's half and half. This is just like what we saw with the pigs, putting the cells into them, putting the human genetic traits into them to try to create viable organs for transplant.
130 of the embryos showed evidence of human cells growing within them. Even more intriguing was the fact that some of these human cells remained alive even 20 days later, providing researchers with valuable data to study the interaction between human cells and animal cells. Understanding the interaction between human and animal cells in these chimeric embryos is a crucial step in the pursuit of growing organs that can potentially save lives through transplantation. This research opens up new possibilities and challenges in the field of genetic engineering and transplantation science, with the hope of eventually overcoming organ shortages and improving the lives of patients in need of life-saving procedures. Number 11, jaglion.
See, isn't it so weird to see, like, oh yeah, we're going to do two animals that we're doing for medical research to create human organs, and then we're going to sandwich that between some big cats. Because wasn't there, like we have, yeah, we're getting to the jaguline here. Oh, growler bears. But yeah, between the growler bear and the jaguline, we're going to have the human hybrids on the cellular level, genomic mixing. Yeah, cross mixing genomes is a better term for it. I agree, Brian Stevens.
Juglans, or legwar, is a captivating hybrid creature whose parentage is explicitly indicated in its name, a combination of a jaguar and a lion. However, successful crossbreeding requires precise sex selection, with a male jaguar and a female lion being the essential pairing. Any deviation in the sexes results in an entirely different animal known as...
So that's Jazeera and Tsunami. It's Tsunami is the other one. Not Sumami. Sumami is my moderator. Jazeera and Tsunami are the names of these two, and I believe that Jazeera has, or maybe Tsunami passed away, and Jazeera's the last jaguline known on the face of the earth. That's the black one. So the orange one here, she passed away.
As a legwar, a rarity found in just a few specimens around the world. The juglans bear fascinating characteristics inherited from both its jaguar and lion ancestry. Resembling its jaguar side, the hybrid is generally stocky in build, and its coat exhibits beautiful rose-like markings, a distinctive feature of the jaguar. However, the spots on the juglan's coat may not be as prominent due to the influence of the lion's genes, which lend a brownish appearance to their pattern. Interestingly, the coat of the...
I love Jazeera and Tsunami, though. They're so beautiful. I don't approve of breeding lion and jaguar hybrids, but no one could deny that they created some gorgeous creatures by doing so.
The juglans can also vary depending on genetics. Some individuals may display a dark gray coat with black spots, a result of inheriting the dominant melanism gene from the jaguar. The juglans exemplify the wonders of nature and showcase the incredible possibilities of...
You keep saying it like juggalins, like juggalo. I don't like that. It's jag lions.
Crossbreeding between different species. This unique hybrid serves as a testament to the intricacies of genetics and the fascinating world of animal variations. Number 10. Hump-less camel. Hump-less camels, also known as cameras, are a fascinating hybrid animal resulting from the breeding of a camel with a llama. Surprisingly, camels and llamas are not too far apart in their gene pool, making the creation...
Yeah, I know it is surprising because they're separated by the Pacific Ocean. Llamas and live in the Andes of South America, and camels live in the Asian steppe lands. So having them be so genetically similar that we can produce... Now, obviously, these guys can't produce hybrids through like regular mating due to the size difference. Camels weigh 8 times as much as a llama, so it's not viable to mate them, but you can artificially inseminate a camel with a llama.
Of this hybrid animal relatively achievable compared to other hybrids. One striking feature of hump-less camels is their missing hump, which sets them apart from their camel ancestors. Instead, they inherit the soft and luxurious coat of llamas, giving them an extra soft and fluffy appearance. While not as large as camels, adult hump-less camels can weigh up to 6 times as much as a llama. As a hybrid, hump-less camels cannot be found in the wild, as they can only be
smaller than a slightly smaller than a camel, but still way bigger than a llama. 6 times bigger than a llama, where a camel is 8 times bigger than a llama.
Created through artificial insemination due to the geographic and behavioral differences between camels and llamas. Naturally, camels and llamas inhabit distinct regions that don't overlap, making natural breeding impossible. The very first recorded hump-less camel was bred in 1998 with the specific goal of producing an animal with more wool compared to a regular llama due to its larger size and more cooperative temperament. The desire to combine the beneficial traits of both camels and llamas led to the production of 5 more cameras in just 10 years after the initial creation. Number 9. Leopon.
They look so weird, though, don't they? Oh, here we're going to talk about leopons. More cats. This is an actual hybrid too. So far we've had, well, the first one wasn't a hybrid. The wolf dog wasn't a hybrid. The beefalo was, liger was, zonkey was, henny was. The green sea slug was not. Growler bear really isn't, but is because conservation status. Is a polar bear a subspecies of brown bears? Well, yes, but we don't call it that because for reasons. And then we had the human pig hybrid, not a hybrid. Monkey, not a hybrid. This was a hybrid, the camel llama. And leopon's a real hybrid. So, Not too bad so far.
The Leopon, resulting from the crossbreeding of a male leopard and a lioness, is a truly captivating and unique hybrid with a striking appearance. Combining traits from both parent species, the Leopon exhibits a well-proportioned muscular build that exudes majesty. Its fur is typically golden or reddish, adorned with the beautiful rosettes characteristic of male leopards. Moreover, they possess a distinct mane, although...
Rosettes of male leopards. Both males and female leopards have beautiful rosettes. What the heck are you talking about?
Not as full as that of lions. The history of Leopons traces back to as early as 1859 in India. Like leopards, they share a fondness for climbing and are not averse to getting wet. While male Leopons can grow to be as large as lions, they maintain their sleek, leopard-like legs, adding to their unique appearance. However, the hybridization process can be complex, and successful breeding between leopards and lions doesn't always occur easily. The genetic differences between the parent species can lead to health issues and reproductive challenges for Leopons. Due to the rarity of Leopons, they are only
as always
found in a few wildlife and exotic animal sanctuaries, where they are cared for and appreciated for their...
That's a snow leopard, not related to a Leopon or a leopard or a lion. This is a completely different species, Panthera oncea, from the Himalayas, not related to Leopons whatsoever.
Exceptional beauty and distinctive characteristics.
That's a Leopon, I think. Yeah, it looks like a Leopon. They're a little bit smaller than
their existence exemplifies the wonders of the animal kingdom and serves as a reminder of the complexities and surprises nature has to offer.
I think that's Photoshop.
Number 8,
though.
glowfish. Glowfish, as its name suggests, is renowned for its striking glow, making it a popular choice in aquariums worldwide.
Not a hybrid.
Interestingly, they were created with a different purpose in mind as pollution detectors. By crossing various fish species like zebrafish, tetra tiger barbs, and rainbow shark, scientists intended for these pet fish to glow in the presence of certain toxins, acting as indicators of environmental pollution. However, the glowfish turned out to be too captivating and visually stunning to solely serve as pollution detectors. Their vivid colors and radiant glow captured the attention of aquarium enthusiasts, leading to their widespread popularity as ornamental animals rather than pollution monitors. Today, they are widely sold as exotic and captivating additions to aquariums, admired for their vibrant colors and mesmerizing glow. Glowfish comes in a delightful array of colors, including pink, green, orange, red, blue, and purple. Their vivid hue...
I've had plenty of glowfish in my day. We actually have a glowfish aquarium right now. There's nobody living in it. I was thinking about getting some aquatic frogs. But before we move on from this, I just wanted to talk about this real quick. Because we got the glow-in-the-dark kitties. We're going to get to this just a second here. Let me clear my throat. Sorry, I'm not muted. All right, so glow-in-the-dark cats. This is super awesome. Everyone knows the internet is for cats. Nothing else, just cats. Cats are fun, cats are cute, and cats have the ability to improve the quality of any day. I mean, just look at this guy. It's got this cute cat. Do I know any jokes about sodium? Nah. Kitty cat. Your day is better already. But wait, aside from chemistry puns, can cats make any important contributions to science? Yes, they do, and in a big way. The Mayo Clinic is now using felines as test subjects to research AIDS, an immunological disease. And while this sounds pretty cool, it gets even better. These cats glow in the dark. Bioluminescence, the ability to emit light, occurs naturally in organisms like jellyfish, insects, and fungi. Please note this group does not include cats. In 1961, Osamu Shimomura, a Boston University graduate and Nobel Prize winner, and his colleagues Martin Chalfay and Roger Y. Tissine isolated the protein responsible for bioluminescence in jellyfish, or in the jellyfish species, Aquaria victoria. What a pretty name. This protein is called green fluorescent protein, GFP. A bioluminescent organism can genetically modify to emit light if the DNA sequence encoding for GFP is incorporated into its genome. When scientists want to incorporate a specific DNA sequence into an organism for research, it is difficult to determine if the sequence has properly integrated. To be sure the DNA sequence is functional within the organism, the GFP gene is inserted into the organism's genome at the same time as the DNA sequence to be researched. If the organism is bioluminescent, the specific DNA sequence has properly integrated into the genome. The fluorescence thus acts as a tag for successful integration, allowing easy identification of the modified organism. At first, bioluminescence tags were only used in single-celled organisms. Now, scientists use proteins in multi-cell organisms like cats. In this case, the cats that are tagged with the glowing GFP protein also successfully produce a protein that protects them against the feline immunodeficiency virus, FIV. FIV is the virus that causes feline AIDS and is comparable to the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, and the AIDS epidemic. Because of this, the research involving FIV may also be applied to humans, helping both species in their struggle against AIDS. Several other experiments must be completed before we know the benefits of this research, but the results so far are promising. Both GFP and the protective protein transfer through natural productive processes, promising at least two things. FIV and AIDS research will continue to test the effectiveness of this protein. If the protein proves effective, the transferable nature of the gene may be applied to the whole population of domestic cats. This may then be modified and applied to humans. As research continues, there will be more glowing cats, so everyone wins. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick, because glowing cats are the tits.
And bioluminescence create a dazzling spectacle in aquatic environments, delighting both hobbyists and casual observers alike. The success of glowfish highlights the wonders of genetic engineering and how scientific advancements can lead to unexpected and awe-inspiring outcomes. While their original purpose may have shifted, these captivating fish continue to be a living testament to the marvels of nature and human ingenuity. Number 7. Belgian blue. In the 19th century, the UK sent special bulls to Belgium to enhance their cattle population.
Also not a hybrid. So far, not a hybrid. The helpless camels were a hybrid. The glowfish were not a hybrid. And now the Belgian blue is also not a hybrid.
These bulls intermingled with the local cattle, leading to the emergence of the Belgian blue breed. These cattle possess an extraordinary development of musculature, particularly in the hindquarters, granting them a broad and powerful appearance. The breed's unique muscularity can be attributed to a natural mutation known as double muscling, which causes an increase in muscle size and a reduction in fat deposition. Consequently, the Belgian blue cattle boast...
You want some Belgian blue butt cheeks? That's what the world's all about. Al Trucker's getting stinged out here. Why are you getting stinged for?
A remarkably lean meat composition. However, the double muscling trait can also pose challenges during calving. The calves born from Belgian blue cows can be larger and more challenging to deliver, necessitating careful breeding and management practices to ensure the health and well-being of both the cows and their offspring. Number 6. Spider goats. Spider goats are a fascinating and real addition to the world.
Just for the record, though, this is not a feature of spider goats. This is just goats doing goat stuff. Goats crawl on walls. Goats climb walls. They climb brick walls. Goats are super excellent climbers. They live in rocky landscapes, and it's kind of their thing is doing just this right here, what you see.
Of living oddities, thanks to advancements in science and genetic engineering. These goats have had their DNA spliced with the golden orb spider, enabling them to produce milk that contains spider silk. The silk extracted from this milk is incredibly strong and versatile, finding applications in various industries, from parachutes and fishing lines to body armor. These spider goats are a testament to the wonders of genetic engineering and the potential for creating extraordinary materials with the help of nature.
These are as much hybrids as the human pig hybrids and the human monkey hybrids they talked about earlier.
Nature's building blocks. However, you won't find silk milk from these goats on the shelves of your local grocery store, as they are strictly bred and farmed for scientific purposes. The University of Utah is one of the institutions involved in the research and development of spider goats, and they are proud to showcase these amazing creatures during their guided tours. Witnessing these real-life spider goats,
again, the ones crawling on the walls, not spider goat powers, just regular goats,
is a testament to human ingenuity and how scientific advancements can unlock the potential of combining different species' traits for practical applications. As with any scientific breakthrough, it is essential to exercise great responsibility and ethical considerations in exploring and utilizing such advancements. Spider goats exemplify the importance of using newfound capabilities for the betterment of society while respecting the welfare of the animals involved. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. We are calling all curious minds and cryptozoology enthusiasts. Feast your eyes on this captivating image we stumbled upon.
okay. Looks like definitely AI. Be like a beetle-cow hybrid.
A snapshot that beckons us to unearth the secrets of a creature that appears to have emerged from the realms of legend. With grand proportions, akin to a towering forest monster, yet sporting an unexpected and whimsical twist. Its mesmerizing body shimmers and sparkles like a celestial gem. Definitely an exoskeletal animal. I would think of a giant insect or an alien at first glance. Now you should be wondering, what exactly is this creature? And where does it hail from? Share your insights, hypotheses, and why.
It hails from the land of Midjourney.
Wild speculations in the comments below. Together, let's embark on a thrilling journey of imagination and investigation, where every idea and theory is welcome and no possibility is too extraordinary. Number 5.Dzo. The dzos is a fascinating result of intentional breeding aimed at combining the advantageous qualities of domestic cows and male yaks. Through this crossbreeding, farmers sought to create an animal that could thrive in rugged mountainous environments while providing valuable
This is a hybrid.
resources like milk and meat. Dzos possess a stocky build, slightly shorter than regular cows but larger than yaks. Their dense and shaggy coat serves as excellent protection against the cold in chilly mountain regions. Weighing around 400 to 600 kilograms, dzos are well adapted to high altitudes and low oxygen levels, making them resilient in challenging terrains. The success of their breeding is evident in their existence throughout history. Dzo breeds have been present for centuries in regions like Central Asia and the Himalayas.
He changed the way he says it. It was Zo, and now he's saying Dzo. Dzo. Or Zo. I think it's just Zo, but yeah, there's just a cattle hybrid.
Where they have been utilized for their strength and stamina, making life more manageable for those living in mountainous areas. Number 4. Savannah cat. The Savannah cat has become a beloved and sought-after exotic pet, resulting from the crossbreeding of a domestic cat and the African serval, a wild cat native to sub-Saharan countries. This fascinating hybrid retains traces of its several heritage, evident in its long neck, big ears, and generally lean build. It holds...
And they have different behavioral characteristics from domestic cats, too. They have sort of a almost like a cated disposition to their
the title of the largest domestic cat, with some individuals weighing up to 24 pounds or even more, particularly in first-generation hybrids. These striking qualities contribute to the cat's allure, and it's no surprise that a Savannah cat kitten can fetch prices as high as $20,000. One of the appealing aspects of the Savannah cat is that owners don't have to deal with the wild traits of
yeah, I know you're a robot, but come on, someone could have proofed this.
The African serval. Instead, the hybrid typically exhibits a loving and sociable temperament, akin to any other domestic cat. This makes them an excellent choice for those who desire an exotic-looking pet without sacrificing the affectionate companionship commonly associated with domestic cats. As with any exotic pet, owning a Savannah cat requires responsible ownership and understanding their specific needs and care requirements. It's crucial to ensure the well-being and happiness of these unique and beautiful feline companions. The popularity of Savannah cats underscores the fascination humans have with hybrid animals and the diverse possibilities that arise from crossbreeding between different species. Number 3.
I don't want a Savannah cat, but I do want a serval. Servals are so pretty.
Blood parrot, cichlid fish. Blood parrot.
This one's kind of sad. I feel sad for blood parrot cichlids.
Cichlids are indeed a unique and controversial hybrid fish, selectively bred within the aquarium hobby. They are believed to be a crossbreed between the Midas cichlid and the redhead cichlid. These fish are cherished for their vibrant colors and distinctive appearance, but they also face criticism and controversy due to a significant deformity resulting from the breeding process. One of the major issues with blood parrot cichlids is their tiny mouth, which makes it challenging for them to consume the necessary food for survival. This deformity is seen as a consequence of the crossbreeding process, and it highlights the
their mouths are too small to eat the kind of stuff they like to eat. It's really sad.
Potential negative effects and challenges associated with hybridization. Critics and activists within the fish-keeping community have expressed concerns about the welfare of these fish, and they have been advocating against the breeding and sale of the blood parrot cichlid. However, despite these efforts, many of these hybrid fish are still available and commonly kept in aquariums. The controversy surrounding blood parrot cichlids underscores the need...
I wonder if you could breed a bigger mouth into them, though, over generations, by selecting for the ones with the biggest mouths. How many generations do you think it would take to get a big enough mouth to be applicable
for responsible breeding practices and ethical considerations in the world of pet and aquarium fish? Number 2. Killer bees. Killer bees, also known as Africanized honeybees, are indeed a unique and noteworthy hybrid among bee species. Compared to other hybrids, they stand several levels above the norm in terms of their aggressive behavior and defensive tendencies.
Yeah, this was a big mistake that they made trying to crossbreed or hybridize bees, because now you got these bees that produce like tons of honey and take over and dominate non-hybridized versions of themselves because of their aggression, and they're able to take over the non-hybridized bees colonies, and they're aggressive towards beekeeping, so they're bad for honey production.
While most bee species may show defensive behavior when they feel threatened, killer bees take it up a notch. They are easily aggravated and prone to attacking in larger numbers, leading to a higher average number of stings during an encounter. Moreover, they are known to pursue perceived threats over a considerable distance, which can be surprising and alarming for those in their vicinity. The aggression observed in killer bees is not commonly seen in the western honeybee, which is more commonly encountered. Instead, it stems from the crossing of two species, the East African lowland honeybee and the western honeybee. This hybridization resulted in the emergence of more aggressive killer bees. Number 1. Turtlefish. The turtlefish is a fascinating and unexpected outcome of a scientific breeding program which can be considered a happy accident.
This is amazing. This is my favorite hybrid, probably on this list.
Initially, a group of Hungarian researchers was working on a breeding program to bolster the numbers of the endangered Russian sturgeon. They employed a process called gynogenesis, where sperm is used, but it doesn't leave traces of its DNA. To facilitate this process, they sourced the sperm from a different species, the American paddlefish. However, during the breeding program, a mishap occurred when the Russian sturgeon's eggs were inadvertently fertilized with sperm from the American paddlefish. This accidental crossbreeding resulted in the creation of numerous turtlefish offspring. Surprisingly, many of these hybrid turtlefish survived, even though
And it is thought that these two species have been separated for, I want to say it was 30 million years. It might have been shorter than that, but they've been separated for a long time. So the fact that they could hybridize is incredible.
Researchers had no intentions of perpetuating the hybrid species. There you go, the hybrid animals you would have never thought existed. So which of these did you think was the weirdest and why? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. Bye.
All right, let's see how many were actually hybrids now. Okay, so no. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 hybrid animals is actually what this list came up with. Out of 20, 13 were actually hybrids. Not too bad. You could have done a lot worse. What do you guys think? Did these hybrids tickle your fancy? Do you feel like you were misled by this video? Do you feel like the information here was inadequate to describe what we were actually looking at? Let me know in the comments below. This was a really fun one for me. I love talking about hybridization and all this other genetic stuff as well. So, yeah, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, live from the Hive audience, once again, I say to you, I plead with you, don't go. We have more show to come. We are only in segment 2 of, I think it's a 4-segment show today. So we're only part 2 of 4. And you don't want to miss out on these last 2 segments. They're going to be short and sweet, but this should be fun, especially the last one, where we are leaning hard into the breeze bestiary once again. But I will see you for some eco news in just a minute, okay? I'm going to play this outro and I'm going to run to the bathroom. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees. It is Bree, and I'm here to bring you just a little bit more eco news today. Unfortunate news, as the case may be, because our planet is going through some detrimental changes. Detrimental changes. Let me elaborate on what I mean. The world's biggest iceberg is moving in Antarctica for the first time in 30 years. The world's biggest iceberg, larger than the state of Rhode Island, is on the move for the first time in over 3 decades. Measuring 4,000 square kilometers, that's 1,500 square miles for my American friends, and some 400 meters, that's 1,312 feet thick. The city-sized iceberg A23A was created in August 1986 when it was calved from the Antarctic coastline. The floating ice chunk quickly became ground in the muddy seafloor and stayed put in the Weddell Sea. Now, satellite images have shown it has moved significantly over the past few years, according to the British Antarctic Survey. Like most icebergs of the Weddell Sea, it's expected that A23A will drift along with the Antarctic circumpolar current and eventually end up in the South Atlantic Ocean, BBC News reports. Eventually, like all icebergs, it will melt away to nothing. The reason for the iceberg's sudden voyage is yet to be understood. I asked a couple of colleagues about this, wondering if there was any possible change in shelf water temperature that might have provoked it, but the consensus is the time had just come. Dr. Andrew Fleming, a remote sensing expert from British Antarctic Survey, told the BBC. Do you want to see the video? Let's see. This is from November 24th. Can we blow this up? Let's see it moving there. There it goes. Headed north. Yep, all the way across there. So that's its journey. Continuing on. It was grounded since 1986, but eventually it was going to decrease in size sufficiently to lose grip and start moving. I spotted first movement back in 2020, added Fleming. The word iceberg stems from the Dutch word Ijsberg, which means ice mountain. Generally speaking, icebergs that form in Antarctica are larger and flat-topped in shape, while those in the Arctic that calve from Greenland are much smaller and often irregular shaped. About 90% of iceberg's mass is typically below the water surface, hence the expression tip of the iceberg, used to describe situations where only a small visible part of a much larger problem is apparent. A23A briefly lost its title as the world's largest iceberg in May 2021 when A76 detached from the Ronne ice shelf in the Weddell Sea. This initially measured 4,320 kilometers or 1,667 square miles, but it later fragmented into 3 pieces. Even A23A is relevantly small compared to the biggest icebergs of all time. This colossus was spotted in November 1956. As this was before satellite imagery, the exact size isn't known, but it was estimated to be 335 kilometers long and 97 kilometers wide, 208 by 60 miles. with an area of 31,000 square miles or 12,000 or 31,000 square kilometers or 12,000 square miles. That's 3 times larger than Hawaii's Big Island. That's a huge iceberg. I imagine that changed the ocean's chemistry for a few decades. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a little bit of eco news. Got this giant flat-topped iceberg breaking free from the Weddell Sea to go on an adventure into the South Atlantic. We will see what happens with that. So thank you for sticking around for eco news. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, got one more segment for you, and it's one that's starting to become one of my favorites. One I'm looking forward to the most is this Breeze Bestiary, which I'm reviving. That I started last year on a completely different channel, but I am reviving on Live from the Hive now as my final closing segment. So I will see you guys over there. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another episode of Bree's Bestiary, where we explore the world of famous and historical animals from the past and the present. Today, we are going to be looking at a famous lion that wasn't. We are, of course, going to be looking at Leo the MGM lion, but Leo was recently retired and replaced with CGI. So let's first have a look at that and see what you guys think. After 64 years, the lion's being replaced. Leo was replaced due to high definition imagery that we needed for the lion. They've used the roaring lion intro for film since it was founded in 1924. Has been using the same lion footage since 1957, which is Leo. So basically it's digitally remastering him, but that was from The Guardian. It's been a couple years ago since this happened, but there's some truths that we need to understand about the MGM lion, right? There's some things that are maybe, I guess they may be well known now since there's been all these articles about it, but I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but let me expose this. I am proud to have worked with MGM Studio for the last 38 years as the audio designer for the logo that bears their name. Not that I was asked, mind you. I made this up as I went and didn't set out to change Leo or movie history or burst any bubbles, as you will see. In 1981, I was struggling to create creature voices for the film Poltergeist, specifically the closet monster that steals Carol and threatens her mom in the hallway. Here's the beast there. This one. We all remember this monster from Poltergeist. Taking a page from the Ben Burt playbook, I set about recording all manners of wild animals to use as acoustic fodder that I would later manipulate into other worldly vocalizations needed. I found myself renting time with animal trainers at Steve Martin's, not related to the comedian, working wildlife in action, CA to capture sounds from their big cats, including panthers, pumas, tigers, and lions. After about 8 hours standing and waiting and rolling a lot of big blank 1/4 tape, I recorded promising material that would make its way into the beast voice that graces the final film. However, before we got to that final mix, during an intervening temp mix for audio preview, I noticed that the music editor had placed the approved MGM Lion Roar Sound FX on the logo at the head of our movie. This was an audio track that was recorded and copied ad nauseum from its original optical sound recording made over 50 years ago. It had been passed down from movie to movie for generations, and it showed. It sounded awful. Remember, this was the early day of Dolby Stereo and high fidelity. Soundtracks were on my mind and many others. Its ability to provide a richer, wider range of aural experience began to show the flaws in traditional sound libraries and music recordings, and this old shoe was really showing its age. Something needed to be done. At the time, Richard Anderson, Stephen Hunter, Flick, and I were attempting to set ourselves apart from the sound pack by dedicating ourselves to recording every sound in our films fresh and new. No Teddy old optical sound would fit in its way into our movie. The light bulb went off. Having just recorded lions for the closet beast and ignoring any sense of protocol and tradition, I saw an opportunity to rethink the icon sound and bring it into modern times. For 2 days, I edited the best takes together to manufacture a new, improved, I thought, MGM lion roar and presented it to Steven Spielberg at our final mix. He loved it. Poltergeist would become the first film to introduce Leo with a new voice in almost 50 years. Months later, the studios would ask me for the original print made on 35mm magnetic film, and I would make it the required audio master from then on to be used in all future MGM film released. That felt good. Truth be told, and it needs to be, the MGM lion then and now isn't exactly a lion. What I mean is, as I watched and listened to the original optical track frame by frame, it became patently clear, having just recorded Big Cats, that Leo's voice would be made completely from sounds made by the King of the Jungle. I had learned that Big Cat vocabulary and discovered that lions, for all their ferocity, don't make the most terrifying sounds when they're showing their majestic teeth, bared open mouth, seen in the logo. No matter how much editing I did, I could not make my lion roar sync up with what I was seeing. Something was wrong. I would discover that, in fact, the sound that one would hear when a lion roars is something more akin to, my ears, a giant yawn. That awe-inspiring open-mouthed gape is actually accompanied by something sounding more like a beast that wants to take a nap. This, I thought, isn't going to inspire movie audiences the world round. Not that lions are incapable of making terrifying sounds. Just not when they're doing what we see in the logo. I was in a pickle. I felt it was treason not to use lion sounds, but they just didn't sound all that terrifying. So I substituted tiger roars. They sound bigger and more majestic. And that's the truth. And that's all I have to say about that. In 1995, MGM this time came to me to freshen up the audio for the logo I had made in 1982 to commemorate the Diamond Jubilee. We were just getting into the digital age, and 5.1 audio was standard issue for movie soundtracks, and my original was in stereo left-right format. So I recut the logo from the original material that I had recorded for Poltergeist, literally frame by frame, using digital tools. My first rethink of the roar was cut on analog 35mm magnetic perforated film. Ron Bartlett remixed it in 5.1 form from my re-edit to create a gorgeous sound that filled the theater instead of just from the central channel. In 2006, I was recreating again creature voices for a Korean-produced fantasy action called Dragon Wars. This time I had 20 or so creatures to design voices for. The panic set in. I knew I again needed a fresh audio palette to design these sounds from. The world had gone full digital in the intervening years, and I knew and never before seen or heard from creature to design. Time to get back into the field for more recording. Luckily, director Hyungo Rae Shim was a good friend with the curator of the Seal Grand Park Zoo. He arranged for clearance for Mark Binder and I to have full access to all area passes to record whenever and however we wanted. We would spend a week in Seoul trudging in and out of cages and sanctuaries, capturing an extraordinary palette of wildlife, including big cats. But it was the big cats we were after. In our favor were slightly more lax rules regarding how we might approach the animals and how the trainers could work with them to get the sound we needed. No animals were harmed nor abused, just teased. As you will see in the video below, the cages themselves were solid steel, allowing us to be safely within inches of the animals, unlike most traditional zoos where we are separated from a large moat, chain link fence, and a theme of good sound recording. Here is some video of Mark and I recording tigers in Seoul. Let's go watch that. See what that's all about. All right, so that was the first one. And then there was this one. That's a tiger. Definitely. I don't like these cages though, yeah. Hope they're living in these. What horrid cages are those? Hope they're living in those. These and many other wild animal recordings would provide fodder for design and become the basis for the Imugi and Baraki snake creature I designed in Dragon Wars. David Whitehead designed many other creatures in the film. 2 years later, in 2008, MGM came to me again to freshen up Leo yet one more time for its 75th anniversary celebration, where they were going to show off a new improved visual logo for the studio. Boy, did I have some great raw material to mine for this redesign. I used mostly tigers and a small amount of lions from the Dragon Wars recording. Recut the logo from raw material. It sounded stunning. So that's the newest lion roar you hear from the MGM lion. Let me pop over to the am I super quiet? Is it the wrong mic picking up? Please tell me I haven't been recording this with the wrong mic all day. No, it's got my USB mic on there. I do have my mic turned down a little bit though. Turned up all the way. Does that sound better? More like what you're used to? I had a short week, but now I'm bored. It says back. Hey, back. Good to see you. Short work week for me too. All right. So, yeah, that was the origin of that lion's roar, but tigers are sort of packing a secret weapon in their roar here. I tried to find a good, regular article to read about this, just to wrap this up, but we're going to talk about this. Researchers may have found the key to the intimidating and paralyzing effect that a tiger's roar has on animals, including humans. New research by bioacousticians shows that very low frequency sound may be the key. A tiger's intimidating roar has the power to paralyze the animal that hears it, and that even includes experienced human trainers. Elizabeth von Muggenthaler, a bioacoustician from the Fauna Communication Research Institute in North Carolina, presented her research at the Acoustical Society of America meeting in Newport Beach, California on December 7th. This is in 2020. Bioacoustics is the study of frequency or pitch sound and the duration of animal sounds to learn about the animal's behavior. At the meeting, von Muggenthaler discussed her work analyzing the frequency of tiger sounds to better understand the part of the tiger's roar that we can feel but can't hear. Why study something we can't hear? Humans can only hear some of the sounds that tigers use to communicate, said von Muggenthaler. Humans can hear frequencies from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, but whales, elephants, rhinos, and tigers can produce sounds below 20 hertz. This low-pitched sound called infrasound can travel long distance, permeating buildings, cutting through dense forests, and even passing through mountains. The lower frequency, the lower the frequency, the farther the distance the sound can travel. Scientists believe that infrasound is the missing link in studying tiger communication. In the first study of its kind, von Muggenthaler and her colleagues recorded every growl, hiss, chuff, and roar of 24 tigers at the Carnivore Preservation Trust in Pittsboro, North Carolina, and the Riverbanks Zoological Park in Columbia, South Carolina. Bioacousticians found the tigers can create sounds about 18 hertz, and when the tiger roars, it can create frequencies significantly below this. When the tiger roars, the sound will rattle and paralyze you, says von Muggenthaler. Although untested, we suspect that this is caused by low-frequency sounds and not the loudness of the sound. When the researchers play back a tape of recorded tiger sounds, including audible infrasound, the tigers appeared to react to these sounds. Sometimes they would roar and leap towards the speakers, and sometimes sneak away. The next step for von Muggenthaler is to take the recorded infrasound to scientists who can determine whether or not tigers can hear the infrasound. Von Muggenthaler hopes to learn more about tigers, protect them from extinction, and understand the unheard, paralyzing power of their roars. So just a fun little article there from Science Daily. And yeah, so thank you for sticking around for this little segment, this kind of new segment here for Bree's Bestiary. Hope you enjoyed this kind of kitty-heavy episode today. Lots of hybrid cats and tigers and kitties and glow-in-the-dark cats and roaring tigers and all that good stuff. I love kitties and hope you do too. Tiger was saying, is there wasn't bars, it would be my meal right now. Yeah, tigers don't like to be messed with. Okay, let me know if the sound's better too. I didn't know I sounded so distant today. I'll have to bump it up when I have to cut these too. That kind of sucks. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me. Please remember to be kind and take care, and we'll see you next time. Seriously, guys, yeah, this has been quite a long episode. I don't know why it hasn't even been the full 3 hours yet, which is what it usually runs. But I feel like I've been at it forever. I don't know if it was the topics were just dragging or what. But like the little ghost boy in the painting feels like it's 1,000 years ago. Now it's noon, I guess. It's almost 12:30. But usually the show, I'm like, oh man, we're going at 3 hours. I need to keep wrapping things up, and it's not even 3. hours yet, and I'm like, blah. Anyway. Yeah. Well, seriously, guys, thank you for sticking around with me. It's been a fun one. Appreciate all of you, everybody who hung out and watched the show, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow when I do Creation Watch. I'm having Atheist Junior and Grayson on, so that should be an interesting journey to Tartaria, where we haven't been in a while. So yeah, much love, my beauties and bees. Again, be kind, take care, all that good stuff. Love ya. With caniformia, it's not just canines, not just dogs and foxes and wild dogs and that sort of thing. It's also bears, seals, and walruses, mustelids, which include otters, skunks, badgers, and it also includes procyon, which is like raccoons, codimundus, all creatures of those groups. So that's on Team Caniformia, and then on Team Feliformia is today's contestant, the hyena, but also obviously cats, big and small, and another group which includes civets, mongooses, and what else is in there? Binturongs. Yeah, Feliformia and Caniformia fill a lot of the same niches along that nice clean divide there, but Caniformia has definitely got the lead on the aquatic environment with the pinniped clades, true seals, sea lions, and walruses. They have conquered the ocean. So far, no cats have really, or I say cats, no feliforms have gone that far aquatic. I think jaguar is the most aquatic feliformias I can think of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, also Feliformia. Fusas from Madagascar are on Team Feliformia. Yes, meerkats are feliforms as well. They're in the mongoose group. Meerkats with a K, yeah. But no, catfish are not in either clade. So carnivores split in half. It's feliforms went one way, and then caniforms went one way. So just think of it as a tree that's caniforms splitting at the. They used to put it at the miacid level, which was this really basal, kind of looked like, I don't know if you all know what a ringtail or a ringtail cat is. They are very basal looking procyonids. Procyonids is the family that raccoons and codimundus are in. They're dogs. They're caniforms with nimble little hands is their main thing. But the ringtail cat is very specific and very distinct in its characteristics. Now, yeah, miacid they are little animals that they have long tails and very. What we call basal characteristics of both feliforms and caniforms. Caniforms and feliforms are both kind of known for their scent glands and the way that they communicate with scent marking and secretions. So that is a way that we distinguish the two groups too. Is by the way that they use their scent markings and which glands are prominent and such. So that's something to keep in mind too when you're trying to decide if that's a cat or that's a dog, or if that's a feliform or that's a caniform. How does it want to scent mark you? Anyway, they all want to rub their head on you. They all got that scent gland up there that's marking you as theirs.